fair yan. Sa local race. Yung ganung tali na. Pwede na yung... Oo nga, ipoproclaim na. Ibig sabihin siya na. Pala. No? Mas madaling masabi pagka-local, no? Professor?
First of all, show us, please, the percentages.
Yes. Of the voters,
Yes.
the voting population
Yes,
in that area.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I
Sige.
see.
While waiting for those percentages, maybe we can talk about how the impeachment is looking like, considering the present crop of winners that we have. Do you think Sara will be able to get the 9 senators she needs to survive politically? Because I understand, you need 2/3 to impeach. So Sara would basically need 1/3 plus 1 to stay alive.
Yeah. So,
And to avoid perpetual disqualification from public office.
She's already impeached.
Yeah, she's
Yes,
already
yes.
impeached.
It's the trial that's...
Yes, the trial.
Convicted, yeah. to be
Yes.
convicted. She needs 9 senators to be acquitted.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many does she have in the current
9
crop
to be
of senators?
convicted.
She has
Not acquitted, sir. Acquitted. 9 to be acquitted. Yeah.
Yes.
9 senators have to say, yeah, she's not guilty. So then it's done. Right now, it's much closer than everyone thinks because the opposition has actually grown in this. If the trends continue, there are more opposition members of the Duterte opposition who are now and aligned with the Duterte, who are with the Alianza but aligned with the Duterte on the impeachment.
So, Professor, looking at this one, she has 4. You
Yeah.
would say she has 4, right?
She probably has more than that actually now. So
From the new batch.
It's from the new batch. So it's likely it's it's
Who
going
would
to be
that-
harder to impeach her
Who
now.
would those be?
Well, right now
Bongo,
we have
yung Bato de la Rosa.
and then you have Marcoleta,
And
who's a
maybe
lawyer,
I-
who's
yes.
going to probably be a vocal defender of the vice president. They've already said that they're
Tapos si
they're
Camille
against.
Villar po.
And we don't know how that's going to be, no?
Is it safe to assume po na dahil in-endorse nga siya ni Vice President Sara Duterte that, she will vote in favor of Sara?
We know we don't want to preempt. These are going to be senator judges,
Yes.
no? But the politics of it seems clear. I mean, at least the vice president articulated it when she endorsed them and made them part of the opposition ticket a few days ago. That there's an intent, not just to push an agenda forward, but also to help in the
Tsaka,
impeachment.
Prof,
yeah.
pag nakita na natin yung final composition ng bagong Senado yan, siyempre magkakaroon pa ng
Realignments,
posible na realignment, shifting ng alliances. Halimbawa, yung last-minute endorsement ng PDP laban kay Camille Villar
Yes.
at Amy Marcos, hindi natin alam kung kasi
Ano yung
dati
effect
alyansa
nun?
sila. So, paano ba magiging mabilis yung
But to be fair, we
pagbago ng
can't
agos.
preempt. I can't talk for them, yeah. But but the political alignments seem to be in place for a possible acquittal. That's my own view. It's not OCTA's view. It's just my personal view of things. Looking at the politics of the positions of these different people. It will be much harder now to impeach her, given where the makeup of this. If the trends continue and this is how it's going to come out. Yeah, but then again, the impeachment is a process. There's going to be a trial, and we can't preempt the judges. If there's new evidence, maybe their decisions will change.
Malayo pa, marami pang pwedeng mangyari. Oo,
As a professor,
Let me say, she's already impeached.
Opo.
yes.
Okay. It's the trial that has to come about.
Yeah.
Now, the impeachment is actually a popular impeachment because we have general servant
Yeah, that's
people.
true.
Opo.
And that's the only thing. It's the conviction
Yeah.
that is an issue, and that's decided by the Senate. That's the way it works.
Another point that was brought up in one of the discussions was that itong si Chel Diokno, after 2 failed attempts in the Senate, ngayon isa siyang nominee ng Akbayan, which is doing very well, right?
Yeah, Akbayan
Dito
was
sa-
one of the big stories here.
Yes.
Although, in OCTA, we have always seen them as getting 1 seat. We never
Yes.
thought that they would, in a sense, that also mirrors the
3
kind
seats,
of...
no? They'll get 3 seats.
Yeah, they're going to get...
Because with 6%, 2% each, they got 3
they
seats.
get 3 seats. Really did very well.
So you're looking at Chel Diokno possibly being one of the prosecutors.
And not only that,
leader.
Leila de Lima, ML,
Yes.
did very well also. So these are the things. So these are these elements of change. No, of course, the election when you look at it, parang wala masyado nagbago. Political dynasties pa rin, pamilya pa rin, yung mga clans. No, Pero may mga narratives ng pagbabago na I think we can all be happy, no? Kasi dahil yung mga botante natin nagbabago eh.
Oo nga.
Hindi totoo na bobotante ang Filipino voter. Nakita nyo na nasa laylayan si Kiko Pangilinan, si Bam Aquino. And in the last few weeks, nakita mo yung mga botante natin, nag-isip sila, namili sila. They looked at performance, capabilities, and you know, when you look at my students are saying it to me now, no? You know, the reality is better than the surveys. Because if they were looking at the surveys, they felt depressed because they'll be mostly entertainers and all of that. But they're happy with the reality that. But the reality is really to emphasize, it's us, no? It's the everyday Filipino who came out to vote. So yun yung inspiring in that
Does
sense.
it have anything to do with what we are discussing, yung ang mga millennials ang biggest
Age group natin yan, mga millennial yan.
O hindi.
Tayo dito. No, yung youth vote,
Dapat
Prof.
totoo.
Nabanggit niyo yung youth vote kanina.
Yeah, according to the COMELEC, something like close to 50% of our own voters are below 40 years old.
Yes.
33%
So
are
millennials
so-called
and Gen
millennials,
Zs,
Gen Zs, about 20 or 18%. So you put them together. Of course, not all of them voted. I'm sure a lot of them, because of the heat yesterday, decided not to vote.
Umulan pa sa ibang lugar.
But we still have to get the data, you know. But
Yes.
it will be interesting to see the voter composition.
So
And of course, after the election, we're going to have an assessment of the elections. It's a regular thing that we saw with SWS and Pulse. We're also doing it in OCTA. So all elections, we have a special probe just to assess. And let's see what came out. Yeah.
Kung karamihan ng mga voter natin, Gen Z, Gen X, Millennial, I guess mag-iiba rin yung campaign strategy, no? So,
Yes,
what are we looking at? How has that changed now? Parang mas maraming social media. How has that changed, no?
2028 na pag-uusapan natin. Ano ho kaya magiging mga pagbabago sa
Social
kampanya
media was
makikita
big.
natin?
Social media was becoming big in 2022. It's a big factor now in the last midterm elections 2025. It will of course be very influential in 2028. And you know, double-edged siyang ang social media. Pwede siyang gamitin siyang force for information and disinformation.
Pero Prof,
and a lot of
nakita-
candidates used it for both.
May nakita ako observation, mas discerning na raw yung social media users ngayon, this elections particularly, dahil sa dami ng mga kumalat na fake news, disinformation, ito pa rin na naging-resulta. Ibig sabihin yung mga kabataan, yung youth vote nga, yung Gen Z millennials, mas naging discerning sila.
Wala
sa
kaming
kanilang
data
social media
to
consumption,
actually back that up, the statement up. But it will be nice to know, no, if they actually are discerning. But I base my personal opinion on the fact that Bam and Kiko won. They came from a very low base of support and suddenly surged, no. So, you know, one is that that movement, that part of the opposition is actually alive, no, and kicking. Many thought it was, you know, broken apart on the, in decline, but actually they came forward and came up with all those votes, no. And of course, then the Duterte opposition is still alive and kicking, no, and very, very strong in certain places. So this will have some sort of impact in 2028, especially as this family retires, so the Marcos family, and wala naman silang heir. So, the space is open for progressive politics, the space is open for different types of politics and different actors. So, yun yung exciting part. And we hope that the voters will continue to vote for the country when they engage in elections. Lagi natin binabaliwala yung eleksyon, no? Kasi sa ibang bansa, hindi na nga nangyayari ito eh. Sa ibang bansa, this is not a right, no, a privilege to go out and vote and choose your leaders. So we're thankful. It's not perfect. Our democracy is not perfect, but the fact that we're doing elections regularly, and still people are engaged. I think more than close to 80%, no, averaging over the last 4 elections, 7 to 80.
That's high, ah.
Yan
I
ang-
mean, in the
ang
US,
big difference sa
65% is a big,
United States.
yeah.
Sa United States, hindi man lang nagsi-60% ang bumoboto.
hindi pa mainit doon.
Mga 80.
Dr. Mangahas, di ba? Dito, napakainit. Tinitiis talaga.
At doon may mga male
mga
voting, di ba?
mga
We like to
seniors.
vote.
Umaakyat na
Filipinos
po
like
Kasi napaka-convenient ng election sa kanila.
Magpapatuloy po ang ating pagbabantay sa bilangan. Magbabalik ang election 2025.